what's up? Denny back today. I want to go over a couple of things with you on what I'm going to do here for the build. I want to go over a couple of links on the brushless motors. This is your Leopard Hobby 1000 kV. You can see it's just under 3¼ inches long, and the body is about 1½. So now this here is a 1/6 scale tri-power. You've seen the Liberty motors, the tri-power. I tore it all apart here, and I hollowed out the inside so you can see, you can actually put a brushless motor inside it. Now this is the small brushless motor. Okay, this is a 2260 kV. You can see how much room you still got in there after you slide this thing in there. Now, if you wanted to, you could put the 1000 kV one inside here. It will fit. Okay, and what I did, I drilled out the holes back here, and I drilled some holes here because I was going to slip the other motors up underneath like so. But you could use either hole, the top or the bottom. The problem with this motor is you're going to have to cut a sleeve or something to fit it in there because it hits the back. You could probably squeeze it in there, pry it in with a pry bar or a screwdriver or something. But this isn't what I was going to work on. This is what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you a size comparison of the Hemi block, okay, and the differences between the Liberty motor. Now you see the Liberty motor, this is 1/6 scale, and this is a 1/4 scale, okay. So this thing, say from fan to the back, it's about a little over 6 inches long. So this thing here, from front to rear, is probably going to be around 8 inches long after you get the fan, water pump, and all that stuff on it. Now, what I wanted to show you guys was this block comes apart. Okay, it comes all apart, and you screw it together with these screws. Okay, when you put the model kit together. Now, and you super glue some things here and there too. But the reason I like this is because the back plate right here, I'm gonna sand this down right here, flatten it out a little bit. I can run the motor dead center in the back if I want to, or I can cut this section out over here, kind of a round hole right here, and on the very back of it I can use the Sen GSTE tranny. As you can see, it will fit right on there. All I have to do is drill a couple of holes into the aluminum plate here and tap them, and it'll fit. And so if I got the hole here for the brushless motor to slide in, it'll slide right in, and it's still fully adjustable as far as pinion changes and all that stuff on the Sen, because it's got a little trap door here where you can actually do your pinion changes and grease up your gearbox. Now this here is for a 4-wheel drive. It's got a this is the tranny, so it's got a coupler on both sides. Now when you I'm going to put a locker in here, so because this does have a differential, it will spin both ways. So I'm going to lock that up, and just use the back drive shaft to the rear end that I'm going to put together for the 32 Ford. So like I say, it's pretty elementary, and I don't know, I think it's going to go together wicked easy here as far as this goes. Now I'm choosing to use the Sen GSTE tranny for simplicity, reliability, and I can change the motors over on it. And I use the GST 7.7 tranny on the 62 Impala. So it'd have, you know, first, second, third gear, and a reverse. And the reason I did that was because with a brushless motor, when you hit reverse, okay, when you let off the gas, it goes into a brake mode in your electronic speed control, and then when you go into reverse, unfortunately, on this tranny here, when I go into reverse, if I have a splitter for the 4-wheel disc brakes that I wanted to use on the 32, it's gonna kind of defeat the purpose. It's gonna lock the brakes up while you're trying to go backwards. Um, so I probably won't do a 4-wheel disc brake on this one unless I can figure that out. If anybody's got any comments out there or any ideas, let me know. So back to this. What I'm going to do here, I'll show you guys how I'm going to kind of slam this all together here. So tranny fits nicely, tucked in there. Now the motor's humongous, you know. And what I'm going to do too is what I did with the last one. I'm going to drill these completely through. Drill these completely through. And maybe grind half of them back a little bit. And I'm going to put nuts, bolts and lock washers on them. And lock nuts to, you know, bolt it together. So once it's bolted together, it's nice and firm. Because they only give you tiny little self-tappers in here, and probably with the vibration that these brushless motors put out, that stuff's going to fall right out, and then your engine's going to fall right apart. So, like I say, bolts and lock washers and, you know, the lock nuts are going on here just because of the stress it's going to be under. Now, it's really strong. It's really strong for as thin as it looks. But once you box it all together, it makes a really super strong structure to house a brushless motor. So that was my segment there to kind of get you guys started on what I wanted to do and what direction I was going in with what tranny I was going to use. And if I keep it light enough, I might be able to get away with a 2000 kV Sen motor. It has a lot of torque and it still has a lot of speed. And the thing I'm dealing with here is the reason I kind of wanted to do that is because the Roven wheels and tires that I used on the Impala are smaller in diameter, way smaller than the Sen GST tires on there, because they're like monster truck tires. Now, this way here, they normally come with a 10-tooth pinion. I can put a 15 or 20 on there to build some massive speed out of this to take up the difference in the tire size too. And I'm not worried about the torque because these motors, even this little one here, put out some massive amounts of torque. And this big one here is super torquey, but it don't have the speed unless I crank up the battery power and I can run up to 48 volts in this thing. And I tried it with 14.4 when I plugged it into my Sen unit here that I was going to put in the Impala. It didn't have a lot of speed, but this is for a real heavy car, and this probably should be in the Impala. It will slow down the torque a little bit, but I didn't know if it would spin fast enough to engage the clutches, because there's actually 3 clutches, I think 2 clutches in the Sen 7.7 tranny. There's one on the outside for second gear with a one-way bearing, and there's one inside for third gear, and it smokes it right up with the 22 kV. But the 1000, I don't know if I would get third gear out of it, but you know, I'm going to probably try it eventually and go from there. And the nice thing about this is once you get the motor inside your your block, like so, alright, and on the back plate here, however you want, you know, say I want to cut this out and have the motor come in this side, I can actually make another hole here to bring my wires out, or up here somewhere to my speed controller that's kind of like hidden and out of the way. You know, I'd probably do it up here because of the it won't be in the way of the transmission. So I can have them come out neatly and wire wrap them, and it'll look more to scale. Being it's going to be an open hooded roadster on the 32, you're going to see all the details in the motor, and there's not going to be a hood on it to close to hide them. So this way here, the neater I make it, the more realistic it'll look too. So that's my segment for today. Like I say, like, share, subscribe. I'm going to get back with some other ones. I'm trying to work on my video quality here, my sound. I did get some messages and stuff from people that I guess you guys had trouble hearing me because I move around, I move away from the camera, and I didn't realize that until it was brought to my attention. So thanks for the input, everybody, and especially one guy there, Aaron. He's pretty cool, So, but if anything like that, is an issue for you guys, just hit me up with a message or something, and I'll try to correct it, and we'll work together to make these videos better. So, because I don't want you guys to miss any details, just because you can't hear me or that. I'm kind of half deaf as it is, so I usually talk louder than normal people do. But the blessing of the auto body business, you lose your hearing over the years. So, if any suggestions like that too, and if you got any questions about what I'm doing and how I'm going to do it, if you want more details on it, like I say, I'm going to try to do a step-by-step, show you what I did and then how I put it together, and then it'll be together, and then I'll move on to the next step. And one thing I wanted to point out too, this Hemi motor, all the stuff's already pre-painted on it, so you don't have to paint nothing. All you have to do is a little super glue and some screws, some time, and relax a little bit, and just put it together, and it's a pretty nice piece. I'll put it that way. It's a really high quality, very, very realistic engine. So anyway, guys, I'm going to sign out now. So adios. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll catch you later.